now. And I'm just gonna check if the stream goes live now on YouTube. All right, we are live.
Okay. If I can just get the link for the thread.
Yeah, just get the links for the thread, and I will just I would just
I got it.
You got it, okay. Setting up to people coming. We are just setting up. Okay, let me know when you have pasted the link.
And we're pasted and the thread is updated. So we can go ahead and start if everyone's ready.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right.
All right then. 3, 2, 1, and start.
All right. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Famiboards Discussion Club, a podcast for and by the Famiboards community. Today we are going to be discussing our thoughts on the September Nintendo Direct, the first Direct of the Nintendo Switch 2 era. So in today's discussion, once again, I'm WestEgg, and I'm joined by Irene.
Hello!
And VolcanicDynamo.
Honestly, the Mario 40th anniversary section wasn't long enough. It should have been the whole Direct, honestly.
It was like 20 minutes or something, right?
Yeah, and we could have had an hour. Give me an hour of Mario. I need my Mario!
Well, this was an hour-long Direct, so we do have plenty to talk about it. So I'll go ahead and just jump in with some of the talking points we have.
Awesome.
First, we did have a couple questions. Yep. We did have a couple questions from Suswave, which I figured we could start with. Who first wants to know how everyone's doing? Did we have good summers? Did we get up to things?
Now, Suswave, I don't think I need to give you my answer to this question, because you were part of my summer. For context, folks, I had a really busy August, and that involved at least 2 different trips, and one of those trips was to go visit Suswave, and we had a wonderful time.
Yeah,
Nice.
Did you have a hoot?
Yes, I did have a hoot with my gal. It's true.
That's amazing to hear.
Did you get up to anything, Irene?
This summer.
Yeah.
So this summer I was spending most of the summer doing not much. I had my game music course during the spring, which was a ton of fun, and then I ended it in June, and then I spent most of the summer just chilling and job searching and playing games and taking walks in the sun. Towards the end of the summer, in August, I had a really busy time. I went to some trips, and I also was very productive with a game I'm developing. And overall, I think the summer was pretty fun, actually. There was even though I spent most of the summer at home and didn't get up to didn't have any profession or something to do during the day, it still felt like a lot of shit happened. So I made a lot of memories during the summer, and it was really, really fun.
Awesome.
Would you say you also had a hoot?
Oh yeah, I had a hoot.
I had a few hoots over the summer, but it wasn't quite the same context. I've talked about this, but earlier in the summer I had a trip to Japan, which was really cool. Ever since, I've kind of just been settling in. I moved into a new place earlier this year. I've kind of been building that up, and I know this isn't the thing that gets other people excited, but football season started, and I've been to a few games at this point, and that's been fun.
Awesome.
All right, and then we had one other question from Suswave who wants to know if we've been silking our song.
Kind of hard to silk my song when I haven't hollowed my night for more than like an hour or two.
Yeah, big same,
Yeah.
big same. I actually fell off. I fell off Hollow Knight pretty soon. It was. I love Metroidvanias, but Hollow Knight to me was a bit too soulsy for my tastes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something I tend to get back to eventually, but yeah, I think I probably did the same that it sounds like you all did, where I like played a little bit and then just didn't keep going.
Of course, knowing Sussoif, me playing Hollow Knight and Silk Song is not a possibility. It is an inevitability. So come back to me. Come back to me by this time next year, and we'll see. Okay.
All right, so we have a Nintendo Direct to discuss, and it is a beefy
We
one. So let's
have.
go ahead and jump in right with the yeah, the Mario 40th anniversary, which kind of kicked things off, and they had this kind of cool little showcase of various like concept art and stuff, which was to talk about like the Nintendo Museum art gallery updates. So that was pretty cool to see.
Which was.
Just any thoughts on kind of that first section?
It was a huge Mario Maker
ahead.
3 bait.
It was.
It was a
absolutely
huge
And
Mario
yet-
Maker 3 bait.
And yet, where is it? Where is it? Where is it, Nintendo? Come on, that would have been a great
Mouse-con
game for the
support.
40th anniversary.
Mouse-con support.
Okay.
Mouse-con
Mouse
support.
con support.
Mouse-con support.
It's an inevitability. Like, there's no way they can't make Mario Maker with mouse support. Like,
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's,
though.
it's a success that writes itself.
Yeah,
So-
all of those things, including the Kyoto Marathon partnership, the museum, it would be much cooler if I could go to Japan next year. Please,
so
please, please.
I don't know if I told you this, but when I went to Japan, we actually like saw the outside of the Nintendo Museum, but we couldn't go in because we didn't get reservations.
Oh, dang.
So like I wanted to do it, but I still would have been too early for all of this. But and then Miyamoto's like, "Hey, come to Kyoto to run a marathon." And I'm like, "I would love to come to Kyoto to run a marathon, Shigeru Miyamoto." It's a little bit inconvenient though.
So what you're saying is we're all gonna have to figure out how to get plane tickets to Japan so that we can film a live episode of the podcast in Kyoto, so that we can talk about all of the stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of it's
Anyone
interesting.
want to give us cash to make that happen?
It's kind of interesting that like in these big general directs that are just aimed at like the global audience, they do kind of promote this very local thing. It's cool. I like that Nintendo's doing this and like it, but it's just like I'm wondering if like this is something they should be putting in the direct or not. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
I think
It
it was
only took
cute.
up it. Yeah,
Okay.
it only took up a couple minutes. You know, if it was like a large, like obviously you don't want the whole direct to be about that. I think like when they did like the specific direct for the museum or the specific direct for the theme park, going more into detail, that's great. But if you're just saying, yeah, this is happening, I don't think that's too weird because they're also kind of encouraging tourism to Japan. So like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
going like, hey, let's do it. We're not gonna make it the focus, but might as well tell you.
Fair enough. Okay, so the first new announcement of the direct was that they did confirm that the title of the new movie, which is going to be the Super Mario Galaxy movie. There was kind of an extended segment of that, which I liked the trailer, but I don't think I needed to hear as long from Chris.
Yeah, same.
What do you need? We need to tell you that every single voice actor from the previous movie, besides the Donkey Kong cast, as well as the same writers, the same directors, and everyone, are back to make another Illumination Mario movie.
I will give props that like they like to do little background gags when they show them, and they had like Bowser at a piano, like in a
Oh, that
Bowser
was
Beetle at a
hype.
piano.
That was
and
hype.
that was really funny. I thought that was cute. So speaking of that, we have a couple questions relating to the movie. One from NinGamer64 who wants to know who we think is going to be voicing Rosalina and why is it Margot Robbie?
Insert white blonde celebrity here.
Yeah. I don't really care who voices Rosalina. Like I just want her to sound probably like a little more, I guess, like mature, I think, than how Peach sounded.
Yeah.
But like I don't really have strong opinions on celebrity voice actors in general.
Yeah, I'm not. I actually had the bit of same of the blockade back when we discussed the Mario cast, when the cast got announced, or maybe it was as afterwards. Oh, we discussed the movie in general. I'm not a very like actor knowledgeable person. I will say that, but I will say that. I think I'm drawing a blank here actually.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, like it's kind of like the Zelda movie when they announced the cast, and like they were complete unknowns. I was like, sure, perfect. They look good. Go for it. Like I didn't really need them to be like known quantities.
If they want people to get their butts into seats for their animated movie, because making a Mario movie wouldn't do that on their own, I guess.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt has to voice Mario.
All right, so this kind of leads into a question from Steve, and I think I'm feeling where you might be at Volcanic Dynamo. But Steve wants to know our expectations for the Mario Galaxy movie with the heavy focus on the Rosalina book. Do we think they'll go for a more mature story with Rosalina, or do you think it'll be just more of the same like the first movie was?
Listen. We have the same directors, the same writer, the same composer, which is a good thing. I actually really like Brian Tyler's music. We have the same producers, the same voice cast, and no incentive to do things differently than the movie that just made $1.3 billion in the box office last year. Why do I have any faith that this sequel movie, is going to be anything other than a super fast-paced, super empty take on what's going on? Because honestly, I think that this movie is going to be probably exactly on par with the original. The use of Rosalina's backstory as part of the film gives it potential for pathos, but it's not about like concept, it's about execution. And unless they let this movie be more, and they have no incentive to because of how successful the first one was, I don't expect this to be anything more than a kind of mediocre but pretty looking and sounding take on a film. So my expectations for this movie are very, very low. Honestly, I think they're kind of rushing to Rosalina very fast. But then I remember that Super Mario Galaxy is turning 18 this year, and that all the kids who grew up with Galaxy are in their 20s to potentially 30s and are ready to spend money. And then it all makes sense. Apologies for me viewing this movie as kind of cynical, but like I really did not love that first one. And I have no faith in a sequel.
Okay, Irene, do you have any thoughts?
I'm personally pretty hyped just because I'm a big fan of Rosalina as a character and the Galaxy as a setting. And for as much as I haven't seen the Mario movie, to be clear about it, but from like what I've absorbed about it through like osmosis and secondhand accounts and stuff, and obviously seeing trailers, at the very least it looks good, and it has good like I think it scored well from what I have seen of it, like secondhand from trailers and stuff. It had really cool like world building when you have the park with the stands with the toads or what that was, and the shots they have from like this. I think it had good like world building. From that perspective, I think the Galaxy movie can really deliver. Like they can show like some really pretty rendering of the observatory, for example, and really show off these galaxies and these environments in a really like lively fashion, and really bring the world and setting of Galaxy to life. I think that has potential to be really, really cool.
I can agree with that. I think if there's one thing the Mario movie did well, it would be the soundtrack. But the other thing it did really well was the visuals and occasionally the cinematography. And I think Galaxy as a source material gives a lot of potential to do some really cool things. I'm still a little concerned about that writing, though, and that's going to be my big one.
That's fair, and I'll give probably the optimistic counterpoint, I suppose. Which to be fair, your point's entirely valid, and I totally understand it.
Uh,
Um.
hey Wes, not to interrupt you, I think you're coming in really quiet right now.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Do I sound better?
No, still about the same. Irene, how does it come out? How is it sounding on your end?
It sounds good on my end.
All
Oh,
right, probably just the volume thing on mine. All right, then keep going.
yeah. No worries. So anyway, with Mario Galaxy, I think with like the original Mario movie, where you're like, we need to translate this to a mass market product. We need to like get the people in with the nostalgia. Like we want to present like a familiar, safe product. I think that's the goal of the first movie. I think a Mario Galaxy movie probably demands a bit more gravitas to it. Like I think they need to treat it a little more artsy, a little bit more character focused. And I think they have like read in the feedback about like the pacing, the everything else. Yes, the movie was extremely successful financially, but I do think they'll want to improve upon the product. So I've got a bit more faith in this. Miyamoto also is pretty heavily involved. I know some people have the takes that might involve with that, but I think he does care about the product and its perception. And even if like the stories about how he doesn't approve of like the Rosalina storybook and stuff, like or true or whatever, I think at this point it's very embedded into the perception of the game, and it's going to be like treated with kind of the respect that it it should be at this point because that's the expectation on it. That's just how I view it.
Yeah, that's totally valid.
Illumination, if you want to prove me wrong, you can do it. You could have me eating crow on the in the April 2026 podcast. The ball's in your court. Do it.
All right, so let's move on to the Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2 bundle announcement,
Yeah.
which is kind of a whole thing. And I don't know if this was something that they did specifically to tie into the movie or if it's just now is the good time to do that. But yeah, we've got remasters of Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 coming, along with new amiibo and a physical Rosalina storybook.
Oh, I absolutely think that this is meant to be a tie into the movie. Or at the very least, it's kind of like, let's do both at the same time. Again, as I mentioned in the Mario movie segment, this is probably the perfect time for Super Mario Galaxy nostalgia, as Galaxy 1 is turning 18 years old this year. And
Hmm.
all the kids who grew up with it, if you're 6 to 11, you're in your late 20s. If you were 12 when the game came out, like I was, you're either turning 30 or you're pushing 30, right? And at this point, those folks have nostalgia, they have disposable income, and they're ready to relive their pasts again. And hey, I mean, I can't complain with Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2 because Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2 are both really amazing games. They've earned their reputation very much so. So to have them re-released, well, I have a few questions, but let me let everyone else talk first, then we'll get into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
I go ahead.
Oh yeah, I just wonder, is this Galaxy version? It's not identical to the 3D All Stars version of the Galaxy.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
It's because I noticed this has like different UI, like the Welcome to the Galaxy font look different, and also it's higher resolution, right? I think
Yeah, on
No, no,
the
on Switch 2 at least.
on Switch 2,
Yeah.
yeah, on Switch 2. I think this is like you can definitely go into the scumminess of like. I don't think it's like a scumminess to re-release Galaxy 1 again, because Galaxy 1, I mean, it's you can't say that, oh, they're repackaging the same game that they yanked from the store at like whatever price, but I think that now I sort of I don't like get behind it, but I sort of understand like that's probably why they yanked 3D All Stars out of print and out of the store, because they had planned to in the future both release Super Mario Sunshine on GameCube NSO, and now they're releasing Galaxy. So now technically 3D All Stars is like still is available again, but in like three separate places. But I was never happy with how they I was never happy with how they yanked 3D All Stars out of print, but I do understand why that is, though, because they were obviously prepping for releasing Galaxy again for the anniversary, and I think that I'm not entirely like excited for it on a personal level, because I do own 3D All Stars and I do think Galaxy 1 is better than Galaxy 2. So Galaxy 2 is an amazing game, of course. Just not something I would pick up personally. But at the same time, it's like, yes, they're old games and re-released at a pretty hefty price. But at the same time, I would say it's still like a bang for your buck purchase, because these are, when it all comes down to it, really great games.
Sure. Just kind of, okay, so full disclosure before I talk about this, I have already pre-ordered the bundle, the amiibo, and will be ordering the physical Rosalina storybook.
Yeah, the storybook was really, really cool.
Oh no, we'll talk about that soon, but yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about it soon. Okay.
There is definitely price discourse around this, and I absolutely understand this. The pricing conversation is kind of just weird in general, because like I saw a point, I think it was on Famiboards, where like, yeah, that's kind of a lot to ask for these remasters of older games, especially when they've been included in compilations and stuff before, or at least Galaxy has. Both Galaxy and Galaxy 2 are better games than Donkey Kong Country Returns and Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, which kind of got the higher price treatment.
That's fair.
Like, that's kind of a consideration. Like, so, I mean, at the end of the day, like, this is still probably going to do well, but there's kind of just a lot of discourse around pricing in general, with, like, in the Switch 2 era, and I understand it, but, like, I'm not necessarily in as much of a position where it's the breaking point for me.
Yeah. Let's be honest. The reason why they're charging $70 for this compilation, or $40 separately, is because people like you and me have already placed their pre-orders. And will have gotten it anyway. And yeah, I'll admit, I got my pre-order in. I'm gonna play through Galaxy 1 again. I'm gonna play through Galaxy 2 again. Do I think it should have been $70? Probably not. It probably should. I think it would have been, if it were $60, people would have seen it as steep. But I think people would have been like, okay, $30 per game. Okay, you got me. But I do think it's one of those things where it's like, I'm gonna do it because I'm a sicko.
Yeah.
But it is definitely because there is like new material in this port. But the new material is simply, there's an assist mode, there is the updated UI and the higher resolution, they are adding more to the storybook, right? We're getting more chapters in Galaxy 1, and now there is a storybook in Galaxy 2, and just like 3D All-Stars, you can listen to the, go to the main menu, and there's a sound test, right? Oh, and there's amiibo support. But I mean, it's Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2. And granted, I don't think you need to do much to Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2. Like, these aren't games that are really, like, demanding, like, massive, like, quality of life patches and updates. Like, these are really refined, solid games. So I don't think beyond what they've added, there's much that you need or want to add to these games. They're great as they are, and I wouldn't ask them to, like, really change them. I would prefer the fact that these are mostly just untouched but polished up. But obviously the fact that Galaxy 2 is apparently running just fine on the Nintendo Switch 1 after not being included in 3D All-Stars, raises the question of why wasn't this in 3D All-Stars? Why did we have to wait 5 years for the compilation re-release? It's like, so it's like, I'm still gonna play it. I'm still going to enjoy the material that's here, but you could definitely ask questions as of, like, the value of this. And I think that's something that's sort of come into play a lot with this particularly, like, as Wes went into the Switch 2 era. But I'm still but let me be fair. I'm a fangirl. I'm seated for this.
Okay, so go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I was originally really like worried thinking about those amiibo, like, oh my god, they're $40. Because obviously amiibo have in general gone up in price. There's a question about that later. We'll talk about that. But I was like, hey, why are these $40 and not $30? And then I realized they're fucking massive.
Oh yeah, they are.
They are so much bigger than your standard amiibo, and that makes me actually want to get them.
So,
Dang it.
something I'm gonna ask, I think, for each of the more major games that are on here. I want to ask if you're planning to get this day one, you're gonna wait for the reviews, or you're not interested. No need to elaborate, just curious. So, Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2 bundle, day one reviews or pass.
Pass. I already have 3D All Stars.
Sure.
Day one,
And
Galaxy 2.
yeah, day one for me as well. Okay. So the next game that they had announced was a new Mario Tennis game, Mario Tennis Fever. Looks like your kind of standard new Mario Tennis game with some new features, and they have a new adventure mode where you play as the baby characters. So, any thoughts on that?
Baby Waluigi isn't real. Baby Waluigi can't hurt you. Baby Waluigi.
Wah!
Waluigi had to come from somewhere. Okay, this is a bit of a tangent, but like I love the theory that like Waluigi is just like a normal guy who just like dresses up for the sports games and does it on the weekends and like is otherwise has no involvement with the Mario universe.
Incredible. No, no,
That's
that's
really
perfect.
funny,
That's
yeah.
perfect. That
Yeah.
just feels fitting. But you know, I am a Mario Tennis person. I did feel that the dodging mechanics and meter mechanics from Aces was a little too overwhelming for me at points. But I think that the mechanics, the tweaked mechanics as presented here, using like the fever rackets and stuff, I think are another fun way of having that sort of fighting game-esque meter mechanic and something that feels maybe just a little bit more set up.
Sure.
So I'm curious to try this. What I find really interesting is how much they are gunning to like avoid um going like, hey, we're gonna drip feed content. We're not gonna have a bunch by saying, hey, look at the character roster. We have 38 characters, and saying that now, right? Because I think the original like Aces has 30 characters, but Ace is only started with 16 characters. So them saying, oh, at launch, oh yeah, there are 38 characters, is really them saying, hey, this game is gonna have content. Don't worry about it, you know? And that's kind of reassuring. I don't I could see I could I'm assuming that like we already know like 20 of the main characters, plus I'm going to assume all 5 of the babies that they show are going to be playable as well, and outside of the story mode. So that's like 25 of the 38 characters. And I know that Tennis Aces had 30 characters total, and we've seen most of the characters that were in Aces are also here already. I wouldn't be surprised if almost every character from Aces doesn't make I would be surprised if any of them doesn't make a reappearance, because I think we have most of them already. So do that. That's 30 characters. You have the 5 of the babies, and then you add like 3 more other characters. That's a pretty solid roster.
Was Chain Chomp included? Because Chain Chomp's all I care about.
Chain Chomp was in Aces, yeah. Chain Chomp
Will
was.
Chain Chomp be in the new one? I mean.
Oh no, Chain Chomp's here. No, Chain Chomp's here. Chain
Okay,
Chomp's here.
then
It's confirmed.
then we're good.
I'm looking at the wiki page. Chain Chomp is here.
Okay, then we're good. Um, I played Aces and like I enjoyed what I played of it, but I didn't do too much. But Aces is a game that has like a surprising amount of people who like really like it. I've noticed like fair like even prominent people. Like I noticed that like John from Good Vibes Gaming is like a really big defender of it. And so like if this is like kind of a proof thing, it probably does have potential to be quite well. I'm kind of lukewarm on it right now, but I'll probably pick it up.
Yeah.
Okay. And then after that, they announced a Switch 2 edition of Super Mario Brothers Wonder, which I think we probably all saw coming.
Wait,
It has a new mode called Meet Up in Bell Park.
Oh,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Did you have stuff for tennis, Irene?
just that it looks really, really good. It's really pretty.
Oh, okay.
And I also want to say,
It really is.
you forgot to say day one. Wait for reviews or pass for Mario Tennis.
Oh, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that for each game if you want. Mine's wait for reviews.
I'm waiting for reviews, but let's be honest, I'm probably gonna get this day one anyway because I'm a freaking fangirl.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I was never big on sports, so I'm gonna pass.
Okay, so yeah, how about the thoughts on that in particular? Kind of looks like
I mean, I was not.
improved for the Switch 2 stuff. I didn't really, I wasn't like too enticed by the meetup in Bella Bell Park.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, go
very
ahead.
multiplayer heavy, and I'm not very multiplayery as a person or as a with video game enthusiast. I'm not very multiplayer heavy on, but they teased that there would be more than just Bella Bell Park. There would be like updates, and they showed something that looked like new stages with like a different kind of wonder flower. That was intriguing to me. I'm not interested in Bella Bell Park, but
Yeah.
I am interested in if there's anything else beyond that.
I would be interested in Bella Bella Park if they let us go online with it. If I can play this online with friends, or maybe
Oh,
the
yeah,
Switch
if
2
this- yeah,
version
yeah.
adds game share support or something like that, so I can go online and do this with friends. Then I'm super in for these multiplayer video games because I feel like because I don't think I'm gonna have enough of a crowd locally to be playing those, but to hop online and be like, yo, let's play some mini games. I think that would be really fun. So I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that. But yeah, this definitely feels like one of those things where like, oh, we only have a vague spring launch window. They teased new content at the end. This is one of those things where it's like, oh, they're definitely going to do a second trailer later. They're going to show
Yeah.
off that
Yeah.
those. I'm going to keep the action small for that and assume that primarily remixed stages and maybe some Koopaling boss fights and not like a completely new campaign. But I would be if I'm but I'm
Yeah.
in, you know. Oh, by the way, did we notice the little thing that they forgot to hide in
The
the minigame
character-
section that reveals a
Yeah, the
certain thing?
character.
Yeah, the certain reveal of a certain character.
So I've got a thought on that. So I don't even think it's a spoiler to say it. Like they in the little preview window, it's pretty indicated that Rosalina will be a playable character.
What?
And,
What? I missed
Yes,
that
they're-
No,
completely.
they did. Yeah, no. In the trailer, it's all the characters are standing around. You can see they're in Bella Bell Park, and they're showing and they have like the different windows for the mini games. One of them clearly shows Rosalina and Yoshi there.
What?
Yoshi was
So
already
Rosa-
in the game.
Okay.
So yeah,
Oh yeah.
to Bella Bell is being added.
Oh.
So the funny thing, okay, so this is kind of a funny thing about Wonder specifically. Like when they announced the cast for Wonder and they announced like Daisy was playable, it was kind of like oh boy, it's finally Daisy's time to shine as a Mario character. And then just with this direct in particular, in comes Rosalina in the bulldozer just bursting down the wall and being like, here I am again. And it's just like, yep.
Yeah.
Once
Anyway.
again, Mario Galaxy nostalgia. This is the prime time, right? Rosalina is here so that we can have our big multimedia push for Galaxy stuff. Movie, port, Rosalina's in everything. I'm pretty sure Rosalina was in every game renounced for the 40th anniversary with the exception of one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So hope you're ready for Rosalina time. Yeah.
I am
Woo!
ready for Rosalina
One
time.
other,
Yeah.
I'm always ready for
Woo!
Rosalina time. Okay, one thing relating to the Mario Wonder announcement is that they're making physical talking flower kind of like toy decoration things
Oh,
for
yes.
next year.
They won.
So
They won. They won.
Yeah, instead of the Switch 2 edition of that, I'm going to ask for this day one reviews or pass.
See, as soon as pre-orders go, I'm pre-ordering that thing. Let me have
Yeah.
it.
I'm a shill. I'm getting it.
Okay. I think I'm gonna pass on the flower and wait for reviews for Meetup in Bell Park.
Okay. So final thing with the Mario 40th anniversary, which isn't really fitting in, but they had to put it in somewhere.
Yeah.
The Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, which is coming spring of 2026. Yeah, any thoughts on
It
that?
looks really cute. I love what they're doing with like the low frame, almost like stop motion animation. I like the
Yeah.
idea of you're finding all the enemies and then they become little guys on your back. That feels like such a natural extension of the fact that most of these Yoshi games involve you carrying around like baby Mario or something. So okay, let you carry these enemies and let you have new abilities with them. It's like what they did with Yoshi's Island
Yeah.
DS, where you could swap with babies, but at maybe a much more rapid pace, a much more focus on that environmental interaction. And I think that this has potential to be really special and to be a Yoshi game that doesn't just feel like, oh, we're doing Yoshi's Island again, again, again,
Again, again, again,
again,
Yeah.
again, again. Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what pretty much all of the Yoshi games, besides maybe Yoshi's Story and to maybe a lesser extent Crafted, even a game like Woolly World, which is a really good game,
Yeah. I
it's
love Woolly
pretty
World.
much just we're doing Yoshi's Island again. So to really go into still feel like it's going in a new mechanical direction while still feeling very in line with it, it has potential. But I'm waiting to see who's developing this game because Goodfeel has burned me twice already on Switch 1, and so if they're developing this, I'm going to wait because Crafted World was a disappointment. I did not really like Peach Showtime. So please give me an opportunity to get really excited for this game. It's better than Crafted World was so far. I'll give it that.
Yeah. I mean, I am a bit apprehensive because it looks really pretty, but Crafted World also looked very pretty, and Crafted World was a bit of a disappointment for me too. So it's like looks can deceive, in many cases.
Sure.
But I think what they showed mechanically of it, with like the dandelions crushing the rocks and stuff, it did, because Crafted World was like, oh, you can play the level again but backwards, which turned out to be like a fairly boring premise. I think Mysterious Book looks like, it looks pretty, it looks really, really pretty, I think. But it also looked like it was mechanically a bit more interesting and had a bit more going on than Crafted World, which has me a little more hopeful. Like, I wouldn't be hopeful
Yeah.
it was just pretty, because Crafted World was also just pretty. So now I'm more hopeful about it because it did look a little more interesting.
Yeah,
From
100% agreed.
from gameplay point of view.
Yeah, 100% agreed.
Okay. I don't really have any thoughts aside from what's already been said. So it sounds like we're probably all in the maybe wait for reviews
Yeah,
kind of stage of
exactly.
that.
Yeah, I mean, great for this.
Yeah, wait for reviews.
Okay. All right. So after they went through the Mario anniversary, they went on to like a specific Nintendo Switch 1 section. So just kind of running through those quick, they announced Stormlancers, Dinkum, and Popucom. Just any of those catch your eye as far as those are kind of like the kind of rapid fire these games are coming to. So I don't know if you had thoughts.
I thought it
I
was
have thoughts on one of the. Oh, you go first, Irene. You go first.
I thought it was really cool. It was 3 games in row that were all new things. No ports, no sequels, just 3 games that were all new things. And I thought that was really cool. And I think Popicom especially had a really cool premise behind it with the color stuff.
Yes.
I think that was
Oh
really, really cool.
gosh. Yeah, Bubblegum was a game that I didn't necessarily pay attention to much when I was like watching the direct, but then I went back and watched the trailer again, watched the footage again. I was like, wait, no, this is like a co-op 3D platformer and match 3 puzzler at the same time. No, honestly, I'm actually really excited for this one.
Yeah.
This is probably like my surprise. I was not expecting to like this, but I'm into it.
Yeah.
Announcement of the direct. So
That's
yeah,
fair.
yeah. Give me Bubblegum. The other 2 games they look good. I've heard people. I know Dinkum already has a PC release. So I've had a couple
okay.
friends who've played it and they like it. Storm Lancers co-op action game. That's I guess kind of a theme with these 3 games. They're all technically like co-op games, and I'm always down for a good like co-op game and a co-op like action game too. So like I would consider Stormlancers. I'm probably wouldn't get Dinkum, but I'm gonna wait for reviews. But if Puppet is as good as it looks, I think I gotta pop. I think I gotta procure that.
Yeah, I like all three of them. It's more like I'll keep an eye on the conversation. Like they
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
scream that I need them,
yeah.
but
Exactly.
I'm interested. Like I'm not rejecting at least.
Yeah, same.
Okay, and the kind of centerpiece of this was Tamagotchi Life,
Yeah,
as far as the Switch One section. So, any further thoughts on what they showed with that?
I just think it's
I don't know if I do,
I just
but
think it's
yeah, I'm just. It's very funny. Go on. Sorry.
it's okay. It's okay. It looks fun. It is hilarious that it has the same cell shading technique as Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I do wonder if it's in the Tears of the Kingdom engine, which would be equally hilarious. Because Ring Fit Adventure was the Breath of the Wild engine, so I think it's cool that Nintendo's games all like share engines in that way.
Yeah, there's kind of a funny meta element to that because it's the Me game, and like the NPCs in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom were
Yeah,
like based on a
exactly.
modified Me Maker system.
That's exactly a good point.
Did either of you
Yeah.
play the original Tamagotchi Life?
No.
Yeah, I did. The original Tomodachi Life is really good. Like, to be clear, gang, Tomodachi Life is a way bigger franchise than you would expect in the sense that it was like what the 11th or 12th best-selling 3DS game. Like, it was very successful, and it's one of those things where it's like almost like a hands-off social sim where you just put the characters in, interact with them a little bit, level them up, but just see what happens. And it's very fun. So I'm looking forward to doing this. What already like gets my attention with this one is the expanded Meme Maker, where the thing is with the Metopia, right? The Metopia port, the main way they expanded the Meme Maker was they let you basically just paint over everything. But
Yeah.
here I feel like they're adding like more options in the traditional Meme Maker, and that excites me. And honestly, I would love it if some of these features got natively included inside of the Switch 2's Meme Maker, because I would love to see like because like the new bang option, new hair options, that's something that the Meme Maker has needed for a while now. And it gets me excited even beyond playing the game to just mess around with these new features. So I'm day one for Tomodachi.
That's cool.
Honestly, I'm probably am too, just based off of the hype for it that I've seen from the previous game. Like, I'm curious enough. I'll bite.
I think I'm gonna pass. S-
Uh,
did I say while yawning? I did not mean that as something mean spirited.
it's good. It adds a layer to it. I like it.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
gotta,
but-
we gotta, we gotta have some. We gotta have that. We gotta have that. That extra layer storytelling.
yes.
Yeah. All right. So then we get into the Switch 2 section, which is also Switch 1 and Switch 2 for a lot of these games.
Yeah.
So does anyone have thoughts on Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection?
It's a pass for me, but
It's a
I
pass
do
for
know
me
that this
too.
is this is Digital Eclipse who's making this, who's doing this collection. I'm pretty sure, and Digital Eclipse does a great job with their collections. Not only are the ports themselves really high quality, but they also include massive amounts of making of and behind the scenes materials, which for some people that might be worth the price of entry alone. So it's not my thing, but I'm glad they're getting to do more IP like this.
Yeah, I'm pretty much only really interested in it from the like documentary perspective of it, which I think is awesome. Like I love seeing
That
stuff
was
like
really
that.
cool
So
actually.
I'll
Yeah, that was cool.
yeah, but other than that, I don't really have any thoughts on it. Okay, so we got another trailer for Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade.
Looks really good.
I suppose, yeah,
Mhm.
we've seen this a couple times at this point. It was in the reveal. I don't know if they showed anything that like we wouldn't have either seen before, like just through this game having been out a while. But I'm just curious in general. Are you planning to get this on Switch too?
I already
I
have it on
technically, yeah,
PS5.
I also have the PS5 version, so I still have to play it. I still have to play it, but I don't necessarily have as much incentive to get this one. I do appreciate the price point. In the States, it's only $40. which for that an integrate is pretty good compared to like the launch price on PlayStation 5. Like, because you already have to like if you especially if you're upgrading from the physical copy of the PS4, like having to get like the integrate DLC was a decent chunk of change. Like, it was like at least $20. I don't remember. So honestly, really comes down to if I feel like not playing it on my PlayStation 5. If I want to play it, if I really want to play it on the go, will I rebuy the game?
Fair. I will probably get this for collection purposes. I've probably talked about this before, but I have a weird block with Final Fantasy in general where I just can't get past like the first couple hours of every single game I've tried, and I've tried many.
Oh, dang.
And I am convinced someday I will play Final Fantasy VII, and then I will want to play Final Fantasy VII Remake someday.
If that's the case, they're doing a limited time like thing. Do you own 7 on the Switch?
I do.
Dang it!
I've never played it, but
me neither. Me too. But the thing is that right now they're doing a special little bonus where like, oh, if you get the game like before a certain time and you pre-order it, you will, for the same price as the regular game, you will also get a copy of. You can also get like a free copy of the original FF7 on Switch. So for those who are interested in trying both and don't own both, that might be a good way to go about it.
Fair enough. All right, so the next game that they announced was Linked, and I'll be honest, I've already forgotten everything about this game.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, like, I guess as we're talking, like, I'll pull up the trailer. Like, I like that it wasn't like they did a lot of animated trailers, but like, okay, it's like 3D 3D is it co-op? Like action game. Could be good. This is a launch trailer, so like you can play, so it's available now. That's one of the 2 shadow drops. The other one was Stormlancers was a shadow drop. This is a shadow drop. So if anyone is interested in this game, let us know.
Sure. All right, so then after that they showed Hades 2, which is finally getting a 1.0 release. That's coming September 25th, and that I think is probably more exciting for people.
Yeah, for me, Hades 2, the question is not whether or not I'm day oneing it. It's, am I day oneing the digital version, or am I going to wait till November to get the physical release?
Fair.
The only thing with that is that it comes out, that the physical Hades 2 comes out the same day as Kirby Air Riders, and I don't know if I'm going to have time to play Hades 2 when I'm playing Kirby Air Riders, but there's also so many games that are coming out in like this September to October period. The day after Hades 2 is when the Pac-Man World 2 remake comes out. The week after that's Galaxy 1 and 2, and then Pokemon's in October, and there's like so much still to play. So maybe I wait for Hades 2 physical just so that I can have more time to play other games. But I have to think about it because Hades 1 was one of my favorite Switch 1 games. So I'm really excited for Hades 2. As some might put it, bisexuals have their fun. Now it's bisexuals' turn.
That's a new one to me, but I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hades 2. I have not finished Hades 1 actually. I still need to.
Yeah, I've been interested in Hades 1 because of the concept. It's really interesting to me. So I'll probably wait for reviews for Hades 2.
Yeah, probably the same for me. Actually, I'll probably get it because I think I will play it. I want to finish Hades 1 and then probably move on to it. But and I'm interested. I like supporting Supergiant, so yeah, that's potentially a day one, but it's not a play now, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We did have a mention in chat. Only just one Hades 2 is at 60 FPS in handle. Why not 120 FPS? Actually, the thing is, I don't actually know the resolution of Hades 2 in docked because I'm reading it. I don't know if Hades 2 docked is 4K. I think it might, and I don't mean in like 120 FPS mode. I think in general, I think it might be the resolution might top out at 1080p. And if it is topping out at 1080p, then 1080p being only a docked thing makes a little bit more sense to me.
Sure.
That being said, I'm just glad we'll have a consistent 60 because Hades 1 did drop at points. Granted, on Switch 2 that probably wouldn't be the case because that will probably run at its without drops. But either way, I'm in. I'm so in.
Fair. All right, so after that, we got some updates for Kirby Air Riders. They talked about how you can follow stuff on Nintendo Today. They showed some Amiibo coming out, and we have another Sakurai presentation coming. So I was already sold on Kirby Air Riders, so that's good news for me.
I just like hearing Sakurai talk, okay? He could talk to me about anything, and I would like, and I with his enthusiasm, I would just like intently listen. I don't need another direct, but I'm gonna watch it anyway. Um,
This,
Go on.
Sakurai's Directs is the only VG game presentation in the world where you bring popcorn.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he knows how to put on a show.
He does, he really does.
As far as the Amiibo go, like those are also a bit pricey, and that's been a thing. Those are $50.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't. They're so cool, but I cannot. I
yeah, I
cannot
think that's my
justify
line.
them. But they are real. They are really cool, but I cannot justify them. They're really cool. I really like them conceptually.
I think there's
But
been a shift in general what Amiibo are for.
mhm.
Like with the Smash line, they were kind of like the toys to life, like mass collectible thing. And I think ever since they no longer have that pipeline to kind of like mass market them, they've turned more into high end collectibles. I guess that's kind of how they've pivoted, kind of like
Yeah,
Nendoroids or stuff like that,
I
which
will.
has come with. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, go on, finish.
Well, I was gonna say that comes with the price hike, but also you have stupid geopolitical stuff happening.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we'll get to that later. But no, it is also true that the amiibo are genuinely higher quality than they used to be. Like I'm looking
Yeah.
at my Donkey Kong Bonanza amiibo, and this is way better than any of the Smash Line amiibo.
Yeah.
Um, you know? But yeah, no, I think a lot. We'll talk about this because we had a question about it. But
Sure.
yeah, there's been effects on the pricing of amiibo that are a little not necessarily what Nintendo would have done in an ideal world. Is all I'll say.
Yeah. So yeah, Kirby Air Riders continues to look good.
Yeah,
I'm still
it
interested.
continues to look good, yeah.
All right, so we got a release date for Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment, November 6th. It's good to see.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh
Yes. this
Yeah, all right. Let's let Irene go. Go.
Yep.
this was game of the show for me. Like bar none, game of the show. It looks so damn good that I don't know what to do with myself. Like am I going to climb up the walls like fly out of the window? Like I was so shocked. Like okay, to be fair, the trailer didn't show anything new. It was like, hey, this is a Warriors game. We know like mechanically show the sync strikes and stuff, but this is exactly what like just the mere idea for me to return to the world of Tears of the Kingdom and re-experience these characters and be in this world and experience the story of Zelda's past. Like that to me is like made me flew out of the chair when this was revealed during the Switch 2 Direct, and for me this new trailer that showed like it was just the thing is that Age of Calamity to me was a great game. It was exactly like a return to the world of Breath of the Wild, but it wasn't like it was in 2020, and it wasn't like at the same level as that year's bangers for me, which was like Animal Crossing and Final Fantasy VII Remake and 13th Sentence and stuff. Age of Imprisonment could be my goatee. Like it could really be up there with Bonanza. It could be up there with Lost Records. It could be up there with Death Stranding 2. It looks so much more refined than any other Musou I ever seen. Like the animations are super slick, and it's runs consistently, at least not in the split screen did run a little bit wanky, but it looks like it runs super smoothly, which is a huge relief coming from Age of Calamity. And I also am so ready and so invested by where the story is going. I mean, first there's the like all of the Zelda YouTubers and Zelda fans are hanging up their hype on the fact that they are marketing this as canonical, as this is not one of the alternate timeline spin that many people, including me, had an issue with in Age of Calamity. And
Are you sure they're not lying? Are they sure they're not lying to you?
I'm willing to take it in good faith, just to assuage my own hype levels a little bit.
Fair.
But the story to me is something I'm just so interested in learning more about, because I got the Japanese, I'm looking at it now, I got the Japanese Masterworks book and look at the concept art and stuff, and just seeing, when I looked at the Masterworks book, it released last year, and I saw the concept art for the whole old Hyrule Castle, I was like, I want to visit this place in a game, and now I can do that in Age of Imprisonment. And that to me means so much to me, to like rediscover the world and characters of my favorite games of all time in this new like Musou game. And it looks so good. Gameplay looks super like satisfying. The new character that is like this mystery construct dude with like hair, like white whiskers that looks Link-like, but nobody knows the lore implications of that. I cannot wait. This is day freaking one.
I love Keneal.
It does seem almost like an inevitability. They have to like somehow get Link somehow present.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
game.
Yeah.
I mean, he's such a staple, familiar moveset. Like, of course you gotta.
Yeah. So they have the character that is presumably going to have is presumably going to have the same similar moveset as a Link would be if he was in Age of Imprisonment. But I'm just really curious about who it is. Like, it's such a cool, intriguing mystery in the lead up to release.
Yeah, the best thing I can say about this game so far is that it looks very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like,
it's gorgeous.
It's pretty. Like, it's good. And I've been on a bit of a Hyrule Warriors kick recently. I actually just a couple days ago rolled credits on a fresh file of Definitive Edition.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Which I unabashedly love that game. It's so corny and good, and like it's actually a good Musou too, just in general with like the territory control and that aspect of it. But yeah, I'll probably still be on the Hyrule Warriors kick by the time this comes out, so day one.
Yeah, it looks so good. It looks everything I ever wanted out of a new Warriors game.
Honestly, the only reason I'm not day one for Age of Imprisonment, which is surprising for me because I actually really loved Age of Calamity. Like, me and my roommate, like, we did split screen in that. We 100%ed everything before the DLC, and we loved it. We had a fantastic time. Even with all the performance issues, even with all of that, we really got a lot out of Age of Calamity. The only reason I'm not day one yet is because because we got to keep up the podcast running joke. I still haven't finished Tears of the Kingdom yet, and I feel like I'm gonna like. Look, you want me to finish Tears of the Kingdom? Tell these companies to stop releasing games. Look. I just freaking finished freaking Donkey Kong Bonanza a couple weeks ago, and they're like, "Oh yeah, here's $20 DLC." Like,
oh yeah.
Are you kidding me? Can you let me finish the game?
Yeah,
we'll get to that later. Let's keep going. Let's go in order.
All right. Next game. Okay, so next game up is Dragon Quest VII Reimagined.
It was a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was funny to me because I thought like Dragon Quest VIII was kind of the game that at least started to impact the West. So I was like, I would have probably thought that might have been the next one up, but yeah, it was cool to see it. Dragon Quest has kind of just earned my respect at this point, so I'll probably pick it up.
I still have to play. I've been meaning to play the 3 HD 2D remake. It got that really nice patch for Switch 2, which bumped up the performance and like all that kind of stuff. So one of these days I will get to it, but there are other games that are higher priority right now, and other announcements from this direct that are higher priority, such as the next one.
Yeah, so this is probably the most left field announcement in a while. Virtual Boy Nintendo Switch Online.
Screw it. Screw it. I'll buy the $100 plastic. Okay. Why the fuck? Why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? Okay.
Life is
Okay.
short. Buy
I'll
a
do it.
Virtual Boy.
Life is short. Buy a Virtual Boy. All hail the Virtual Boy.
So, go ahead.
Also, I will say this. I'm also interested in the cardboard one because it honestly feels like a suitable replacement for the Nintendo Labo VR goggles that actually fits on a Switch 2. Because the only thing stopping the compatibility for that is the fact that it doesn't fit. The software runs just fine. It'll start, it'll run, but it just does not fit inside of the headset. So I'm really curious to like, am I going to spend another $25 on cardboard? Maybe.
Yeah, like
Save my wallet.
It's cool that they're doing this just from a preservation standpoint, that these are still accessible in some way. Something I'm curious about, if because like the way that they did it, I believe with Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey when they did the VR modes, didn't they kind of just have like a segmented like double display, and like
Yeah.
the lens like captured one? I'm wondering if you can forego even needing the equipment and use the Switch's zoom feature to like zoom in on one, assuming it works in the same way, and just kind of play it like that.
Huh.
Potentially. Do we know for certain that that this is going to be that we absolutely need the headset to play it? Let me see. List of classic games are going blah 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 blah. See how it works.
I don't see how it would register the headset, so like especially the cardboard one.
Yeah,
So
but like
I would assume it plays regardless, but
yeah, play retro with this. Like yeah, because if you could just play it in 2D without the accessory, I mean, I'm still gonna get it, but then that would probably be like not too bad. I assume that that's the incentive because the thing is you have to have a Nintendo Switch Online account to get the accessory, and you have to do it through their systems. So I imagine that there has to be a way to play them in 2D, but we need the authentic experience. Trying to get my $100 plastic.
yeah.
Bit of a shame it's U.S. and Canada only, though. Yeah,
Is it
At
US
least-
Canada only?
at least in North America, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, interesting.
But
Okay,
yeah,
so
the main thing is if it's required or not. And I guess for those who are playing on Switch One, try to find a cheap Labo VR headset, VR goggles, and that would probably be enough of a substitute.
Yeah, and I'm kind of hoping the workaround I talked about works, just so that people can still experience it without even. if
Yeah,
it's not
honestly,
in
I
3D
feel
or
like they're
whatever.
just gonna have a 2D mode. There'll be a 2D mode, and you do that, or you select the 3D mode, and that's you put on the headset. That's my gut feeling.
Sure. Do we have any Fatal Frame fans in the chat?
We don't have any concrete fans, but I am really intrigued by Fatal Frame 2. I think it looks really cool.
Okay. I've always been curious about the series, but I've just never picked it up.
Yeah, I'm waiting for reviews on this one.
I'll give it a
Okay.
firm waiting for reviews as well. Okay, so we kind of had a bit of a rapid fire. These games are getting Nintendo Switch 2 editions, all of them third party. So they talked about One Piece Pirate Warriors 4, some more Muso for you, Overcooked 2, Stardew Valley, and Human Fall Flat. Any thoughts on any of those?
The only thing I'll say is that I think it's cool that Stardew Valley is getting a Switch 2 version, not because I particularly care about Stardew Valley, but because it has mouse support. And I like that
Exactly.
games are getting mouse
That's cool,
support.
That was kind of really the only memorable thing of that segment for me. I mean, the other game's cool, great, but
Yeah.
okay. Power Wash Simulator. Do we have Power Wash Simulator fans in the
We
house?
don't.
I mean, it looks nice and relaxing, but I know what I'm in for, and that's the next game they announced.
Suika Game Planet.
Day zero. Day zero. I sunk
Okay.
way too much time into the first Suika game to like not be in for a sequel. So I'm absolutely in. I'm ready to put another 25 hours over like over the holiday season, just in bed playing a bunch of Suika. I'm ready for this. I know that is how I'm gonna spend my time, and I'm hyped. We're doing it. Let's do it.
Fair enough. Also a quick note. Big Sante in the chat says that he does love Power Wash, so we do have Power Wash fans in the house.
Yay!
All right, so Suika, I'm probably only interested in if it's like still absurdly cheap like the first game is.
I would be shocked if it wasn't.
But that's kind of how I'm feeling. Irene, are you a Suika fan?
No, I never tried it.
Okay.
It's so. I really love Suika game. I really like it. So, I
Fair
will.
enough.
I am in. No matter what, give me my Suika. Let's go. Yeah, one of my. Yeah. More
All
comments
right.
on Power Wash, one of my favorite Switch games. That's really cool.
I'm glad that like a lot of the games that we might not necessarily care about, like every game shown is going to be appealing to someone, and that's always something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
But speaking of games that are going
All
to
right,
appeal to our
so
audience,
yeah, so we finally got some more information on Metroid Prime 4, some new footage. We got a kind of a big gameplay gimmick reveal, a release date, and some accessories. So first off, what do you think of what they showed as far as in that trailer?
gang, gang, gang.
Yeah, we're listening. We're listening.
How do they keep making Samus Aran cooler? How do they keep doing
Yeah,
Yeah,
Metroid Dread, where she got a cool, sleek blue suit and she's pulling off all these action moves? Great. How do you make her cooler? You give her a motorcycle?
yeah, I really thought that we had hit the absolute peak with operate mechanisms and open doors. So I am, I'm still banking on that joke. Sorry, but yeah, I think the motorcycle
Oh my
looks.
god.
It looks really cool, and I think
It does.
It's I was blindsided by it, but I think it fits well, and it will makes. I think someone made a good point about it on the forums that Metroidvanias and Metroid in general is all about abilities and gear, and this is a really cool ability for like traversal and progression. And I agree with that. I think
Yes.
for that reason alone, I'm really into the motorcycle stuff, the Viola as it's called.
Yeah. Yeah, it also just really shows like the scale of the world that they're going for. And remember, gang, they're showing footage of the Switch 2 version. This runs 60 FPS on a Switch 1.
yeah.
Not that this is the most detailed open world open segment, of course, because it's a lot of desert. But still, the way that the scale of the world and the seamless nature of being able to jump into the bike, then out of the bike, similar to how you would go into the morph ball, right? It makes me feel really excited the possibilities of how this world is going to be structured and what they're going to do with it. I mean, I think we're all in day one for
Yeah.
Prime 4.
I would agree.
But
Yeah, totally,
this just enhances that feeling for me. I really got to play Prime Remastered before this. I have so many games to play. How am I gonna have time to play Prime Remastered before I get to before Prime 4 comes out? Hi, Seventh Rest.
Yeah, quick shout out to Seventh Rest, also a fan of Fatal Frame. So yes, we do have our Fatal Frames in the house as well.
Yeah.
Specifically having our fataled frames. It's so true.
Yeah, and I'm also like really into the new environments shown in the Prime 4 trailer. The kind of like lightning based environment with like the huge spiky buildings, and there was like this wind. You walk on a path and there's like sails spinning around. That's exactly the kind of environments that I just love in Prime. So I was really satisfied that we'll see more of that.
Yeah, thoughts on Samus's new accessory? The motorcycle.
Oh yeah, we went over the motorcycle a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
did we? Sorry.
Yeah,
I must have liked that.
It's okay, it's okay.
Then we talked
Okay.
about Viola's cool.
No,
but
you
here's
you
sliding
did.
down the movies, like, come on.
Okay, like I've noticed a lot of like weird people not liking the motorcycle, and it's like, why? Why on earth would you not like that Samus has a motorcycle? But
Do you not want Samus Metroid to be the coolest badass motherfucker on the planet? Do you not? Okay, suit yourself, I guess.
so as far as like the supplementary material, it looked like there was an art book. There's 3 amiibo for Samus, Sylux, and then Samus with the motorcycle.
That
Any of
amiibo's
those
so
catch your eye?
cool.
Yeah,
The
Oh, the
amiibo-
motorcycle
it's
one,
really
yeah.
cool.
First off, I like the. I think Metroid is the exact kind of franchise that's sort of like hardcore franchise where an art book, especially with the first few Prime games, is a really interesting get. I don't know if I can justify the prices for the amiibo, but like I'm looking at Samus on that motorcycle, that white ass amiibo, and like, gang, it's so fucking cool.
It's also
so
big.
cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Metroid Prime continues to look exciting. I'm sure we'll probably have a discussion around it when it comes out.
Yeah, yeah.
That will probably be the December direct, the December podcast, won't it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, so next announcement, we're getting some DLC for Donkey Kong Bonanza, return to Donkey Kong Island, and then like a new kind of roguelike mode.
Yeah. I already purchased this DLC. I've not played it yet, but I have purchased it. What I find, and this is technically ties into a question we're gonna get later, but what I find interesting already immediately are people's concerns that this DLC was overpriced and not worth it. Oops.
I don't know. I've also already picked it up. And I played a little bit of it and explored DK Island a bit.
Yeah, I was a bit underwhelmed because I thought DK Island will be like a proper level. And like with bananas to collect and bananium games to collect and objectives and tasks, but it's more like just an arena for the Emerald Rush mode. But I was interested because I saw a lot of people on the forums compare it to Side Order with the same kind of like run-based roguelike inspired structure. And I love Side Order, so that piqued my interest.
I haven't actually played the Emerald Rush mode yet.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see them dive into that, have that sort of run-based structure. I think I'm curious to see how replayable it is, because if it gives me like 10 hours of if it gives me like the 10 hours of gameplay that I got out of Side Order, then I will feel that it is worth it, you know? But if it's only something that I'm going to play for like a couple of hours, then it will be less interesting to me. But, you know, I don't feel like this was like something that I felt like was missing from Bonanza, but I'm glad to see it here. This is, I think, only like what, the second EPD8 game to have DLC, because you know, not counting like the expansions, because we also had the Captain Toad like special episode for the Switch version.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see them try a new kind of DLC, but yeah, I was mostly surprised that already, you know, I'll take it.
Fair enough. I'll put some time into it later, but yeah, like, yeah, anyway, I don't really have any more thoughts.
Yeah, I'm interested
go
in
ahead.
it. I'm interested in it. So I'm like on the fence, I guess.
So next announcement was Pokemon Pokopia, which is coming sometime next year. Probably, if it weren't for Virtual Boy, this would probably be the most left field announcement of the direct.
It was ready.
I love it, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Game Freak and Koei Tecmo working on a Pokemon spin-off where you play as a Ditto and it's kind of like Minecraft.
So that's the thing. Like,
Dragon Quest Builders.
I've heard people saying like, oh, they're like ripping off either they're basing it on Minecraft or they're ripping off Pal World, which I think is a weird take. What this actually is,
World? No.
yeah,
This looks like Dragon Quest Builders. This looks like
Yeah.
Minecraft.
That's what it is. It's Koei Tecmo also made Dragon Quest Builders. This or two at least, and that's what this is. This is Pokemon Dragon Quest Builders,
Yeah.
which is so appealing to me because Dragon Quest Builders ruled.
Yeah, I think this game looks really cute. I don't know if I'm specifically in for a Dragon Quest Builders slash Minecraft like right now. But I think it's a really interesting concept. I think the use of a Ditto as the playable character that can like use the different abilities of the other Pokemon is like a really intriguing prospect.
Yeah, Dittos
So
have
how
been
quick
interesting for a
so
while.
so how quickly are people going to demand that this specific Ditto gets put into the next Smash Brothers game? How quickly?
This Ditto could have an amazing move set, to be fair.
Exactly, because you could literally
Yeah.
do like any Pokemon thing while also having also having building and crafting mechanics. So if you just want to reuse stuff that Steve did already,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'll go ahead and say that this was probably my favorite announcement of the direct. I just it looks so cute and funny and weird, and I love it. Like that's all I can really say about it. And I really like Dragon Quest Builders, so yeah, this is definitely a day one for me.
I'm gonna wait for reviews. If this game ends up being like people really like this one, then I'd be more inclined to consider it. This feels like a game that will be a massive time sink, and we'll sort of see. I think honestly, the most one of the most intriguing things about it is the fact that Game Freak is developing a Pokemon spin-off with Koei Tecmo. This could have just been a Koei Tecmo game, but Game Freak doesn't usually like put their hands into Pokemon spin-offs. So
Aren't they busy developing some weird like FromSoft like or something for
yeah,
the other consoles?
yeah, they're doing like some other
Anyway,
game there. But yeah, typically they don't do Pokemon spin-offs. I think they might have had their hand in a couple of them here and there, but it's not the norm. Like what else? What other Pokemon spin-offs have they done? They they
yeah,
they did Pokemon Quest, and that's about it in terms of like Pokemon spin-offs. So I'm curious to see, what made them want to do Pokopia.
sure. And we did get some other Pokemon stuff in this. More information on Pokemon Legends ZA. Arceus bought me enough goodwill that I'm interested in this. They did announce some DLC for it, Mega Dimensions, which features new evolutions for Raichu. Just thoughts on that whole segment.
I think the new megas they all revealed were pretty cool. I think all three megas for the Kalos starters are nice.
Mhm.
I'm in for Legends ZA, even though I think I'm cooler on Arceus than other people have. But I also think that Legends ZA and how it's handling its battle system being more distinct from the main series is already like addressing like one of my major issues that I personally had with Arceus. So I'm in for this. The DLC, you can already pre-order the DLC, and the DLC is $30. And it's not out of line with the DLC prices of previous Pokemon games. It does feel a little pricey
Mhm.
for something like a Legends, because the other DLCs, right? It was like a two-part like release of DLC. I'm not sure if that's the case really for this DLC. Like we get like we get the early if you pre-order the DLC you get the costumes, right? But the DLC but like it's saying that it's going to be released soon after, but you need to beat the game first. So if it's one of those situations so I think a lot of it for that is going to be like, what's the scope of the DLC? Because they basically just gave us a teaser trailer.
Sure. I'm day one for the game. DLC wait for reviews. That's kind of where I'm
Yeah.
at.
But on the other hand, my roommate's favorite Pokemon is Raichu. And they got to
Nice.
have two Mega Raichu. Yeah, gee, roommate, how come Game Freak let you have two Mega Raichu? So I'm happy for them.
Fair enough. All right, so we got an announcement of Danganronpa 2x2 coming next year. Danganronpa is something I've always kind of been interested in, but I've never actually gotten into. I don't know if either of you have played the series.
I've
I
played.
have friends. Oh, you'll go first, Irene.
I played it. Not a big fan actually.
Played
I
it,
have
not
a
big fan.
couple.
Okay.
I have a couple of friends who really want me to get into Danganronpa. So I actually just purchased, because it was on sale, all of the Danganronpa games that were released onto Switch One. So yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. That's why we're getting Danganronpa 2x2.
It is cool that like it does like from what I've seen from like people I follow, it's apparently like a full-on alternate scenario baked into it that's like as long as the main game. So that's cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is almost like effectively like because we know what 2 × 2 equals. It's 4, right? This effectively with how divergent it's probably going to be, it almost feels like this is effectively a Danganronpa 4 just attached to this remake of Danganronpa, just attached to this re-release, remaster, remakester, or whatever of Danganronpa 2, which makes a re-release of a game feel way more appealing because that feels very substantial, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because if this were just a remake of 2, Danganronpa 2 is already on the Switch. We don't really need that again. But if I end up liking the Danganronpa games, then I will think about 2x2. It's not a day one. It's probably wait, but I will think on it.
It's a wait for me. And then okay, so Dynasty Warriors Origins announced. Cool, I guess. Like I
I'm busy with Hyrule, okay?
I need that. I need that like fan service Code of Pain on a Warriors game. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Same.
But it's cool that it exists, and especially for the fans. And maybe it's cool. Like if it gets big acclaim, I'll be paying attention. But fair enough.
Mario
and then-
Mario Warriors when?
I would love Mario Warriors. We could probably do a whole discussion about like what Warriors games. They
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Let me not derail our podcast any further than it is. We have been going on for 80 minutes, and we are
Yeah.
not done yet.
Yeah. Speaking of, so Monster Hunter Stories 3 showed up, I think, for the 80 millionth time.
Glad
thoughts
it
on
exists. Glad it exists. No interest personally, but I'm glad it exists.
Yeah, same. It's good for the fans of Monster Hunter and Monster Hunter Stories. I tried the second one, I didn't get too into it. All right, and then probably the big third-party announcement of the Direct. We got a trailer for Resident Evil Requiem, which is also Resident Evil 9, because that's kind of how they're doing it now.
Yeah.
Any Resident Evil fans in the house?
I'm really interested in Requiem, and I'm getting it day one. I have
Nice.
never. I played a little bit of Resident Evil 1. I think Resident Evil 1 is a really cool game because it has the fixed camera perspective thing that is like really cool, and I love how labyrinthine the mansion is and how it's almost like a little bit like a Metroidvania touch to it in how you navigate the spaces and try to find your way around and encounter locked doors and stuff. I've never played any of the modern Resident Evil games like 4 and onwards. So this to me will be completely uncharted territory. But I am a big fan of The Last of Us, like a big fan of The Last of Us, and
Sure.
and they are quite similar because I know Last of Us 1 took a lot of inspiration for Resident Evil 4. So, I mean, obviously it's not quite the same genre because it's survival horror versus third-person shooter. And it's Last of Us is by nature more action-heavy than I think the Resident Evil games are. But there's enough similarities there, but enough of a game design overlap between the modern Resident Evil games and Last of Us, which has me really intrigued. And I also love the vibes overall of what they have shown with like how they use the horror survival horror setup to create this really like oppressive atmosphere, and I love how you can play in both first and third person. That's really cool to me, and I'm just really appealed by what I've seen of the game so far. So I'm definitely picking it up. And what else?
I could see myself at. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and what I also think is that I might misremember it, but isn't Requiem going to have a bit of a Mr. X kind of enemy in it? Or am I misremembering that?
I'm not sure. I haven't followed the.
Yeah, I wouldn't know
too closely.
myself.
Oh, okay. But if I remember that correctly, that's also something very intriguing to me because I love the concept of that. Like that sounds like it could be make for some really tense like horror moments. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in Requiem.
Yeah, Resident Evil is also kind of one of those series where like I feel like I will get into at some point, and maybe this will be the catalyst for it. For now, it's kind of just something I'm going to observe. Same with 7 and Village on the Switch too. Yeah, glad that they're coming. I'll keep an eye on it. The only one I've really played for more than a little bit was 4, and I know that's kind of the popular one to say that with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel very similarly about the announcement for Resident Evil. Like as soon as I started the trailer, I was like, "Oh, that's Resident Evil." Even though I have not been following like Requiem's like at all, as soon as that trailer started, I was like, "Oh, this is Resident Evil 9, right?" So, but I think why this is nice is because it shows a commitment from Capcom that they're not just going to be doing like, oh, here are games that are specifically tailored towards the Switch. Here's Monster Hunter Stories 3, but we're not going to be putting like a full fat Monster Hunter. Resident Evil Requiem is the big Resident Evil game. It is the next main installment. Also, here native ports of 7 and 8. That is a commitment to the system to have a day and date to have like this is Resident Evil Requiem is that's day and date, right? It's day and date with the other
Yes.
going day and date with the other systems. Oh yeah, we're going to actually do third party support here. Significant actual stuff. And I think ultimately that matters more than my specific thoughts on Requiem, because I'm not a Resident Evil person because I don't play survival horror, but I can appreciate that Capcom is going, yeah, we are putting this on Switch too.
Yeah. Quick note: 7th Rest said that they should put RE2 on the N64 NSO. 'Cause that would be pretty cool for some hype for it.
That would be pretty good, especially because of how impressive Resident Evil 2 was on N64.
Yeah. But yeah, I pretty much have the same takeaway as you as far as I like it from what it potentially means for third-party support. Just kind of vaguely interested in the game itself. All right, so after that we got the one more thing,
Yes.
which was Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, which appears to be in the setting of 3 houses, which is cool.
And which was also a bit of a bait for me because that first shot of the big city, I was like, to me it looks like this really like impressive and majestic shot that may or may not be a new Monolith Soft IP. So I was like, but then it turned out to be a Fire Emblem. I'm not disappointed by it because I'm still waiting for a new Monolith Soft game, but I think this was a really good One More Thing, actually. And I think this is like a really impressive showing of the potential of a new Fire Emblem game. Like, it looks really cool. It has this like third person, you could walk around in the city. It has like the gladiator setting, which is like a far cry from the school setting of 3 houses. And I think the battles looked really cool, really polished, and they had a lot of style to them with like the animations and stuff. So this is definitely worth keeping an eye out because I think this could be just as much of a standout Fire Emblem hit as 3 Houses was.
Yeah. I don't have too many thoughts on Fortune's Weave specifically because I've never been a Fire Emblem person. Mostly because turn-based strategy games hurt my brain.
Oh.
Specifically ones turn-based tactical role-playing games, strategy games. For a similar reason, I've never gotten very far in the Mario Rabbids games. So even putting a coat of Mario paint on the drum doesn't save it. But yeah, just visually looking at the trailer, it looks like a pretty significant, like a solid step up in terms of the presentation and scope from Three Houses in particular. And given how much of a fan favorite game Three Houses has been, or maybe a source of spirited debate, I, I don't imagine that this one will be bad. I think while it's not for me, I appreciate that this game exists. And who knows? Maybe this will be the opportunity for me to finally actually give a Fire Emblem game an earnest shot. But I'm gonna leave that for the rest of y'all to convince me, okay?
Sure.
Right.
My just some rapid fire thoughts. I love Three Houses, so I'm looking forward to this. Yes, another 10 years of Three Houses discourse. That's just what this leads to.
Yeah.
There seems to be kind of the assumption that this is a like potential distant sequel to Three Houses, which seems more likely. I will bring up that that's largely based on the appearance of Sothis that they show at the end of the trailer, who is a character in Three Houses. I will say there is still potential that it could be a prequel, just because there's story reasons why Sothis appears as she does in Three Houses, and like she made like it could still potentially be a prequel for that reason. But I'm kind of interested to see how they go with the story.
Yeah, yeah. And graphically it looks great.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah.
a huge step up from both Three Houses and Engage.
But yeah, I'm always happy for more Fire Emblem, even though I know Fire Emblem makes the internet salty. So yeah, it's a day one for me. Okay, so that goes through the direct. We did
Yes.
have a few community questions we can roll through here towards
Yep.
now that we're at the end. All right, so first is from Seventh Rest, who asks, Nintendo not only acknowledges Virtual Boy, it puts out some hardware to use with the NSO Virtual Boy games that are going to release. With this coming, I feel everything goes since Nintendo dares to embrace its quirky side once more. What would y'all like to see Nintendo acknowledge from their rich past that is unexpected?
CDI.
Oh no.
Is
Oh
that
Just
god.
kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Or are you?
I mean, I meant the Zelda games on CD.
I think they're content to let like other people like carry the nostalgia torch for that. Shout out to our set.
Yeah, shout out to our set. Absolutely.
Yeah, great game. Great freaking game. But let's see. Going down the list that Seventh Rest already mentioned, I will say we do technically have Nintendo System exclusives already acknowledged. We have a few of those on NSO already in the States, like Mysterious Murasame. I'm pretty sure Mysterious Murasame Castle is on there. Versus Excite Bike, I'm pretty sure was a disc system exclusive as well. And of course, Lost Levels. But like, we got a little bit of that. A little bit of that.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get those adventure games in the States. That would just take way too much that's gonna take too much localization, and I don't think it's worth the effort for them. But I mean, if we can get a new Famicom detective game, never
Yeah.
say never. Let me see. So Teleview app. I would like to see this as Teleview stuff. I don't think we're ever gonna get it because I don't know how well that's been preserved on Nintendo and having to do the whole broadcast stuff. I just don't know if they would do that. 99 version on a Fuda and a B block. I do want the vacuum cleaner though. I do want that vacuum cleaner. I don't like vacuuming, and any way to make vacuuming fun would be great. So give me that little vacuum. Let me live the reality of that WarioWare mini game, and I'll be a happy camper. Give me that.
I am still banking on Ice Climbers 99.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Didn't we talk about it on a previous
We did.
episode? We did. Yeah.
I
That
think we
was
even,
a
like
great.
concepted it.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm
Some
all in on Ice Climbers 99.
a little bit less unexpected, but now you're getting me to think about the potential of an Excite Bike 99.
Oh, that's also good.
You're all driving together, and you have to, but you can like really like mess with people. You can like really like try to crash and make people stop like that, kind of like they do with F-Zero 99.
Yeah.
So honestly, actually, you know what? Screw Ice Climbers 99. Just give me a new Ice Climber puzzle platformer. Give me that.
I
Yeah.
still want Ice Climber 99.
I could go for both.
I'll take both.
Yeah. Why
Yeah?
not? Why not both? Put GIF.
Yeah. Okay. No los dos.
All right, so we got a question from Shretro. Does Nintendo have an inherent DLC problem by revealing both the Bonanza, released 2 months ago, and ZA, released within a coming month, DLCs in this direct?
Yeah. Because I would like to add at least a little bit more context to this question, for those who aren't on the forum. The poster she goes a little bit more into detail about what she personally means by the DLC problem. First, that the Bonanza DLC looked like content that was meant to be in the base game, then moved out for profit, and the ZA DLC does feel like the original idea was to make it a $20 Nintendo Switch 2 edition, but they wanted compatibility with Switch 1 and Switch 2. And I'll be honest, in that capacity, I don't think Nintendo has an inherent DLC problem. I don't think there's an issue with announcing Shadow Drop DLC 2 months after a game has been announced. And Pokemon has kind of been doing DLC stuff like this. Has been doing this, including at this price point, since Sword and Shield, right? But I do think what this really like points to, because I don't think personally that the Bonanza DLC content feels like stuff that was just not included with the base, because Donkey Kong Bonanza on its own feels like a full flat complete game without that, right?
Yeah, I don't think Donkey Kong Island would have fit anywhere in the base game, honestly.
Yeah, like, but what I really do think is that a lot of it is a perception and pricing situation, which I think that's what it really points to. And I don't know, I think it's a situation where Pokemon has always been charging that much, has always been doing $30 DLC for a while, but maybe it's just the situation that Pokemon's DLC is just not. Maybe it's just, I mean, we don't know yet because it's not out yet. But maybe it's just not worth the price. I will always encourage people who don't know if they think a DLC is worth it or not to wait on that DLC and don't just buy it. I say as I bought the Donkey Kong DLC immediately. So do as I say, not as I do, right? But I don't think that points to an inherent problem so much as, I mean, again, it's hard to make a trend out of just 2 DLCs in one showcase. We're talking about like the span of a month, right? I think if we're for that, a lot of it's like, I would wait and see how more future DLCs handled. And there's a similar question related to that later, so we'll get to that a bit later. But go on, anyone else have any thoughts on this?
I don't really have a problem with Bonanza as far as DK Island's a nice little bonus, but the roguelike mode, which is kind of the more point of it, that is very classic recent Nintendo DLC as far as other games go, because it's what Xenoblade did, it's what Splatoon did, just like repurpose a roguelike mode.
Yeah.
So I don't think that would have fit into the base game, so I don't really have a problem with that. That's just repurposing stuff. ZA, I see why people are upset. I probably, again, I'm not too interested in the DLC, or at least I'll wait to see what it does. But I'm normally someone that completes the Elite Four of a Pokemon game and is done and good. So, yeah.
Yep, no, that's totally fair. I will attempt to play the DLC, but I'll see. Because the thing is that with the DLC releases, because of their Phase 1, Phase 2 releases, I would always get burned out of the DLC. And then I would forget about doing part 2 and I'd stop. But if they're releasing it more close to when the game comes out, honestly, maybe I'll actually play all of the DLC this time. But yeah, it remains to be seen.
All right, so we got a few rapid fire questions from Josh5890 who asks, were you surprised by the lack of news about Mario Kart DLC, Mario Kart World DLC or
A
updates?
little bit. I'm a little bit surprised. But part of me, but basically, I'm of three. I feel like there are three possibilities with this. One, they're not talking about DLC for Mario Kart World yet because they don't want it to interfere with sales for Kirby Air Riders, another major $70 racing game that they're doing. They want the attention to be on one, and then once that is out of the way, then they'll talk about it. That's the one possibility. The second possibility is that simply the DLC is going to take more time and be more ambitious than what we had for Mario Kart previously, because they can't just add new courses, they likely also need to either add stuff into the open world, like into the existing open world, or make a new open world section. And that necessitates making sure the day-night cycle works well with it, adding question mark panels to each course, adding the Peach medallions to courses, adding missions to the courses, and that just being a larger scope thing than we would have gotten previously. The third thing is that, and this is the doomer option, is that Nintendo has given up on Mario Kart World, which I do.
Surrender to Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
No, they're surrendering the Kirby Air Riders,
Oh
gang.
yeah.
But like, I'm willing to give it more time before we go all doom and gloom on Mario Kart World, because I'm still having fun with Mario Kart World. I still feel like I've gotten a lot of, pardon the pun, mileage out of it. So I'm willing to wait, especially when Nintendo has lots of other things besides Mario Kart in the pipeline. I am a little surprised that they didn't say anything though. Like even like a cursory announcement of, "Oh, it's coming in 26," you know? But I don't know.
Fair enough. Do we think that there is a lack of excitement around Nintendo's announced pipeline? There are some really cool games announced right now, but there isn't a 20 million plus mega seller that the Switch has received yet, probably aside from Mario Kart. So yeah, thoughts on that?
Just wait till Tomodachi Life sells 20 million units, then we'll talk.
Yeah.
That has potential.
But I mean, it's kind of hard to really predict that because a lot of the super biggest sellers, like, they really managed to just capture the zeitgeist of things in a really powerful way. Breath of the Wild was this major turning point for its franchise. Mario Kart, well, we have Mario Kart. That's going to sell gangbusters, right? I imagine Donkey Kong will eventually get to 20 million sales. I imagine that it's selling very well, very consistently, and that would be still like a 33% drop from Odyssey. So 15 to 20 million honestly feels, over the life of the game, feels achievable. But right now, yeah, the thing is just that we have a lot of games that are like, they appeal to a core, that they're a big core audience, right? I will say, it's cross-gen, but I would be shocked if Legend ZA didn't sell very well, at least within the 10 to 15 million. And we know next year, because next year is the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. We know that we're gonna get Gen 10. We're gonna get a Generation 10, and that's gonna be that year's 20 million seller. So I think a lot of it is just that, hey, we're in a weird. The timing of a lot of the franchises is weird. We just had a 2D Mario a few years ago that's gonna get bonus DLC. Tears of the Kingdom was just a few years ago. We just got Echoes of Wisdom, so Zelda's kind of like, we're focusing on spin-offs for now. Splatoon's gonna get spin-off next year, so we're not gonna get Splatoon 4, but we are gonna get Raiders. So that's kind of where that is, right? So like, I think a lot of it is just that, you know, we gotta give it time. We gotta let the devs cook. It's not like we're gonna get a new 3D Mario game anytime soon, because Bonanza just came out, for example, right? So like, we got other franchises coming, you know? There's still room for new stuff, still room for spreading out. I think we have a pretty good selection of games, including like the massive seller that is Mario Kart. So it's tricky because, again, Nintendo is not just building off of this as a new system, but it's also building, you know, with a completely separate library, but it's also building off of the Switch library, right? So how much do you like account for Nintendo Switch 2 editions or do those kind of things, you know? But I don't think there's nothing that's too bad right now. We have the
Sure.
Mario Kart 20 million seller. I think Donkey Kong will get there. The rest remains to be seen.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with that.
Any thoughts, Irene?
Uh, no, I think you made some really good points. I think yeah, Pokemon Gen 10 is coming, and I think that is gonna be one of the first of many 20 million plus sellers. So I think people do a lot of like comparisons to Switch 1's first year and compare them and say that Switch 2 wasn't that big, but Switch 1 was so many different circumstances. Like Nintendo had a lot more to prove. They really had to go all in to pull themselves out of the Wii U swamp, you know, and just the perfect trifecta of a mainline 3D Mario, mainline 3D Zelda, and a new Xenoblade in the first 9 months. Like that's it's just something that historically will probably never happen again. So
Also, like Mario Kart, we can't forget the 70 million seller Mario Kart.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the Switch
Alright,
one, Switch 1's year is just not going to be topped by Switch 2's first year, I think.
Yeah, it couldn't. It would be practically unless like the development pipelines lined up like perfectly, it would be impossible. And that's
Yeah.
it. And that's okay.
That's okay, yeah, that's okay.
Okay, and then Josh also wants to know why Nintendo likes to abuse them with amiibo prices.
I'm going to drop a bit of family lore here. And
Go for it.
in the Famiboards staff server, we have various emotes. And one of the emotes we have is Furukawa with the laser eyes, which
Yes.
we normally use in circumstances like these. So to Josh, I want to send a visual representation of that emote. Is that why does Nintendo abuse you with these amiibo prices? Furukawa laser eyes.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of all there is to it. That
Yeah.
they're still selling, especially with kind of what I mentioned earlier. They've kind of transitioned more to collectible, like kind of like shelf pieces and stuff, rather than having like a game function. So there's a bit more to them these days, but also crazy, stupid stuff that's happening with the world right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's
it-
totally
it-
fine. Yeah.
yeah, no, it isn't. It is like when we're talking in particular about amiibo prices, right? It is, we have to, at least for the United States, right? We do have to acknowledge, right, the current socio-political and economic climate that we're in. And by the current socio-political and economic climate that we're in, I mean that the United States is being ruled over by a tyrannical fascist who doesn't know how to do business and is basically destroying our relationships with most of the world while letting minorities and marginalized people get brutalized by what is effectively a secret police, and also trying to go up against his political opponents, right?
Yep.
So, not that Nintendo isn't a corporation and that Nintendo can't afford to do some of these things, right? That's definitely true, at least to an extent. But if you want a target for your anger and your hatred, right? Let's start there, shall
Yeah,
we?
yeah.
Not saying you're not, of course, not saying that's what you're doing, Josh. Not saying that's what you're doing. I mean more so in like general, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And like, yeah, the tariffs are definitely like they even in real time edited the price of it. So there's no denying that that's like the huge reason why prices have gone up. Like I do think that
It would have been
the
more
prices were
expensive
probably
regardless.
I
But
think the prices were on their way up regardless, but not to that extent.
yeah, I think we would. I think in an alternate world, each of these amiibo would have been like $10 cheaper. Would
Yeah,
be
I'd
like
agree with that.
$10. Like we like the new Zelda amiibo. Like for example, I think the clearest example I think has to do is the amiibo for the champions, right? I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Were they announced at 30? Because I think they actually originally 20, and then they got bumped up to 25, and then the 30, or 20,
Something
or
like
was
that.
20 or 25 to 30. So in an ideal world without those tariffs, you could probably knock like $10 off the price of all of these, like $5 to $10 off the price of all of these amiibo. We'd be talking like maybe like a $30 like little statuette for like the Galaxy amiibo. And not that that isn't expensive. Don't get me wrong, but that I think would have been more easier to swallow. But like I also can't fully blame them right now because the tariff situation is utterly ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but yeah, I mean that's the answer.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway,
thank you for letting me get on my soapbox for a moment.
no, you're fine. All right, so we got another question from 3DS Boss. How are you feeling about the Switch 2's first holiday season? Anything you would change or move around? We've kind of talked about this a bit, but like I'm pretty content with things. Like the Pokemon's going to be a good holiday game. Metroid's going to be a good like for specific fans holiday game, and Mario Kart World will remain a holiday game for every Christmas of the Switch 2's life.
Yeah, I wouldn't change or move around anything because of games being more expensive. So if there were too much releasing, I would cry, you know. So I'm definitely set for the holiday with just Age of Imprisonment and Prime 4.
Yeah, the pacing for the next few months of releases is really wild, right? Like if we think about it, right? We have Hades 2, which is not a Nintendo game, but I'm going to say Hades 2 because Nintendo's also going to be publishing the physical release. But we have what? We have Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 in like October 2nd, right? Then 2 weeks later, we have Pokemon, right? Then 2 weeks after that, I believe, is when we're getting Age of Imprisonment. Then 2 weeks after that, we have what else? Is there another? I'm blanking for some reason on what else is in November. Oh yeah, like 2 weeks after that in November is Kirby Air Riders, as well as technically the physical release of Hades 2, and then 2 weeks after that is Metroid Prime 4, right? So we're getting game after game after game after game this holiday season, right? I don't think Nintendo has any worries about the franchises they're covering, the variety of stuff that they have going on. Like I think they're set.
Yeah, I agree. I don't have any other notes. Okay, we got a question from Suswave, who asks us to pick 3 announcements from this direct and sacrifice them for one thing to take their place. Doesn't really matter what it is, just have fun with it.
So I'm gonna sacrifice the announcement of the Super Mario Galaxy movie, the announcement of the Super Mario Brothers Galaxy movie, and I think I have room for one more. I'll also sacrifice the announcement of the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And I'll trade them for... Okay, let me give an actual answer. To be fair, I think we should, let's actually, sacrifice specifically games here. I think saying the Galaxy movie is kind of cheating. So I'm not going to, sacrifice, Air Riders amiibo, you know? I think I'll sacrifice the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, Link's Banner of the Spark, I'm sorry, and... We could probably sacrifice that entire Nintendo Switch 2 edition section, if we want to make it really juicy. And what would I do? I could do Mario Kart World an expansive Mario Kart World DLC, and a whole pipeline for that. I could do that. That would not be a bad idea. I could do a 3D Mario, but we're not going to get a 3D. I'm be a little realistic. I'll be a little realistic. Ice Climber 90. What would you folks do though? I'm curious to see what you folks would think.
I would sacrifice scrolling through the list. I would sacrifice Monster Hunter Stories 3 because it has been shown before. I would sacrifice Legend CA Major Dimension DLC because that has also been shown before, and that could also be shown in a Pokemon Presents instead. I would also sacrifice I would also sacrifice Storm Lancers. I'm sorry, but I would I would replace them for Monolith Soft's new medieval IP. And
yeah, great choice.
RPG, and put it as a one last thing.
Okay.
I want them to say this will be our last announcement, and play Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, and then come back and say that was new Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. Then Tetsuya Takahashi and Soraya Saga comes soaring in on like a mech, you know, and they just like ram Koizumi out of the picture, and they pull off like sunglasses and say, "Yo, here's the real last thing for the direct," and roll the trailer.
Oh my god.
That's what I would do.
I would love if they like just did a whole scripted segment of that. Yeah.
Ugh, that'd be so funny.
As far as mine, let's say Stormlancers Linked, and yeah, I'll also say Monster Hunter Stories 3. So that may have been the same ones that Irene said. Sorry. And my thing is going to be Super Mario Gridiron Football. It's something I've wanted so long. I think it would be so fun. Charging Chuck is right there. Like, he always has been, just waiting for his moment.
Wow.
I don't think I need to elaborate. That's it. That's the pitch.
No, you did it. I'm sold. Day one. Day one. Wait for reviews. Skip. I'm day one.
Okay. All right. So we have just last few questions from Steve. What was the best first party reveal and the best third party reveal?
I'll let you two go first, actually.
If you count it as first party, it would be Pokemon Pokopia for me for first party, and third party kind of default it has to be Resident Evil.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's mine.
Irene?
First party reveal. Does it count if Age of Imprisonment and Prime 4 they are already revealed?
It's your answer. You can count whatever you want.
Your answer? Yeah.
Okay.
Do what you want.
I think Age of Imprisonment was my game of the show, if I can frame it that way. So definitely that. And best third party, I think, is Resident Evil Requiem, which just showed itself really well. It looks really, really good.
Okay. My third party game of the show, Suika Game Planet. That's actually my second pick. It probably would be Hades 2, honestly. Right? The fact that we have a 1.0 release of that. We know it's coming out now. Even though we knew it was coming, the fact that we have that kind of like shadow dropped, right? Almost. That is probably that. That is probably my third party game in the show. If we are talking about ones that we haven't been revealed already, I also enjoy Speaking Game Planet, but also like Papukama is like my surprise, like, oh, I'm actually want to buy this third party game. In terms of first party, this is interesting because I do feel like there wasn't really a ton of like massive first party reveals, as opposed to, oh, here's more information on what we've already announced and what's coming. Like in terms of like truly new first party games, we have Force of the Galaxy games, we have Mario Tennis, we have Yoshi, and we have Pokopia and Fire Emblem. Right? We only technically had 5 new game announcements. 4 really, because one of them is a collection of ports. Right? And I know which one I'm going to probably put the most time into. It's probably going to be Galaxy 1 and 2, but I wouldn't say that was the one that excited me the most. Yeah, this honestly is a really difficult question because I feel like the announcements for this direct in terms of the new stuff outside of the Mario section were not the kinds of things that would have been directed or specifically engineered to make me feel hyped, even though objectively I think it was a good suite of games. So I'm just going to say if the Mario Wonder DLC is as good as we hoped, then maybe that might be it.
Fair enough. Okay, and then let's see. Did you find the pacing worse or similar compared to previous directs? Do you think it's similar to how the 3DS segments were? I assume that's in relation to like how you used to have like the divided attention with the 3DS and the Switch.
Yeah, I thought the pacing was pretty good. I mean, we had the 20-minute Mario segment at the beginning, and then like a 40-minute regular. We spent only like 6 minutes on games that are specifically Switch One, and then we did all stuff that was Switch One and Switch Two, if not straight up Switch Two. So I felt like it was pretty smooth pacing.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. The only thing that I kind of wish they would do is I'm growing less fond of the show the trailer for the game and then re-explain the trailer segment immediately after. Like, I think they could probably tighten up the pacing of directs a bit more if they kind of re-examined how they do that. Oh, that's
Would you
just kind
prefer
of personal.
Would you
Go
prefer
ahead.
just seeing trailers, or would you want to just dive into like the explanation portion? Because I
It
feel
would,
like
it would depend on the game, but they do
yeah,
both pretty often, and it's kind of a lot of the time it's redundant because they're basically just re-describing the trailer you just saw.
yeah, I would honestly focus on specifically the explanation portion more, or like focus on that because I feel like honestly, I feel like that structure is what separates Nintendo Directs from other showcases. Where I think other showcases, it's like, oh, here's a trailer, here's a trailer, here's a trailer,
Fair.
right? And I like that, especially if it's something that is a known quantity, right? Sometimes you just want to shut up and show a trailer, right?
Yeah.
But like, not that I want to be babied or anything, but like sometimes just going, hey, here's something, here's something, here's something, right? I think sometimes that is a nice way for those who aren't necessarily as tuned into the hype cycles to like get a better idea of what some of these other games are. I kind of like that sometimes. You don't want to do every announcement like that, but like I think sometimes it's warranted, and I like that. So I would say, yeah, try to do a balance of them, but yeah, you don't need to do both for so many games.
True. Okay. And then final question that we have, overall rating of the direct, and we were given the options of S, good, or peak.
I thought
Also,
good. I thought this was a good direct. I thought this
yep.
was good. I think again the big thing is that we mostly got updates on updates and like of pre-existing stuff in terms of first party over like not over information of new stuff. And I think if there were more new stuff they had to share, this might, especially since we didn't get like the summer direct this year, I think it could have gone to peak, right? Because I think on the whole, this was just very solid, right? But yeah, I think for it to be peak, I think we needed like at least one other really hype worthy like first party announcement.
Hmm.
Because Fortune's Weave was good, but like in terms of like stuff that's like meant to be a big deal, that was the main one.
Yeah, pretty similar thought. Direct was good. I probably was fairly positive on it. In order for it to be a peak direct, you need one of Mario, like new Mario, new Zelda, new Smash Brothers, or like something that is very much your specific interest.
Yeah. Like if we just had like one new major like new announcement, it didn't have to be a Mario or a Smash Brothers necessarily, but like I don't know, if we got like that peek at that Monolith Soft IP if it exists
Hmm.
or any other sort of like new thing, maybe even something that isn't like a pre-existing IP.
Yeah.
That could have been that one more thing. But as it stands, we're gonna have to wait a little bit more. We're gonna have to wait a little bit more time for that. And like and in truth, if we're talking just about what's coming for 25, I do think we're set. I do think we're very comfortable. So I'm willing to wait until 2026 and just see where things go, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it was peak, and
Okay, there you go.
I'm mostly basing it on how extremely hyped I was for Age of Imprisonment and also Prime 4. Like
It's fair.
that's to me like made a peak like instantly. But also like if you look at it, it was really a direct something for everyone. Like
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
movie fans and Mario fans were eating good. We got some like new ideas and new IPs from smaller developers. We got Tomodachi Life, Hades 2 was like a megaton announcement. We got like some really out left field stuff that for like the LOL factor, like Virtual Boy, NSO, and Pocopia. We got Fire Emblem, we got Resident Evil, so we did something for the Resident Evil fan. Dragon Quest fans got treated, Danganronpa fans got treated. It was very multifaceted and very varied, and it covered a lot of bases, which is like, for me, the thing that a direct needs to do more than everything. So I think it was.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay, so overall, it seems like we're all pretty good on it. So
Yeah.
this has definitely been our longest episode to date.
Yeah, it has.
So unless anyone has some final thoughts, I'll go ahead and bring us into the end.
2 times as long as the direct. You love to see it.
Yeah.
That is true. All right, so for everyone who joined in, whether you submitted questions on the forum or you were in the chat, definitely thank you for participating.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, VolcanicDynamo. Thank you, Irene, for, as always, just being the co-host for this.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
And if you want to get in on these discussions, be sure to check out our companion thread on Famiboards.com. We normally announce these a little bit ahead of time, so just keep an eye on that. And yeah, everyone, have a good one. Thank you. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone.